Just then, Diesel rolled up.
What about me, Thomas? I'm really a useful engine too.
No, Diesel! I'm sure Tram Band means a really upgraded engine. You'll never be that.
Hello everyone, this is 102 back again with yet another review, and today we will be reviewing the Trackmaster Push Along. Wait a second. I don't think this is the right Diesel because he doesn't seem to have good wheels. This is the correct Diesel. Today we will be taking a look at the 2026 re-release of Trackmaster Push Along Diesel. So a bit of a backstory as to how I got this guy. So if you probably remember, my Walmart never got Case C of the new Metal Collection series. So my Walmart never got Diesel here. And to make matters even worse, none of the other Walmarts that are like an hour away from me never got Case C as well. So I was basically Diesel-less. So I had to order this guy off of eBay, and I got him for about $13, which isn't too bad. But there's still one little problem. I need one more of this guy, and the only other listing of this guy disappeared before I could get him. I was going to get both of those Diesels at once because I still need one to finish a certain custom. But this one right here will stay completely normal, as I think Diesel is one of the better looking models in the lineup, alongside Mr. Troublesome Truck, which you already saw me review. But anyway, with that little backstory out of the way, let's get to looking at this guy's box. So starting with the front, we have the sort of standard style guide. We have the Fisher Price, Thomas Benz logo, Diesel's name, that ancient nitrogen promo. Got the assortment number up there. It says Metal Collection down the side. Here we have Diesel in all of his glory, ages 3 and up. On the back, we got absolutely nothing. So we got his name up there, and production date is U33A, which is 33rd week of 2025. Except underneath, he says U31A. Which, fun fact, is basically 1 week after Case B was made. Pretty much like the last batch of Case B, because Case B was pretty much made on U30A, which is the 30th week of 2025. So Case C was literally made 1 week right after Case B, and I don't know if that explains anything about Mattel's weird distribution logistic to you, but yeah, let's get Diesel out of his box. Alright, Diesel, time to come out of your box. After sitting in it for who knows how long with that other person. Alright, out he comes. Wow, that paint definitely feels different to the original version, but we can toss this box aside. Whoop. And here is Diesel in all of his glory. Just giving that 360 spin, even though we just did. Here's his back. Here's his other side. Here's his front. If I look at that face, and I have no idea why it is so blurry, but he's got the white dots in his eyes, which is not new to this diesel, considering he had a few variants in the original Trackmaster Push Along range where he did have the white dots in the eyes. He's got that painted buffer beam on both the front and the back. Here's his side. He's got them nice new wheels. And he's got his little fake side rods, which aren't painted. And it's like that on both sides, and I will get to that later. Here's his top. Here's his bottom with that strange font as usual. And production date of U31A. And we got that nice 2020 copyright. But yeah, that was Diesel. And now we're gonna do a little comparison of him next to his original Trackmaster Push Along counterpart. Alright, so here are the two nearly identical diesels next to each other. So starting with the front, this diesel is a slightly older one because he doesn't have the white dots in the eyes, and he also has the older styled chassis. But as you can see here, they actually have the exact same item number, FXX06, despite this one being a completely different item number for the US assortment. I don't know why they made two completely different item numbers for this guy, even though actually I do know why. It's so these things wouldn't end up bringing up at clearance prices when they ended up in like Walmart stores. But yeah, here's the fronts. Honestly, I love the white dots in the eyes a bit more. It gives it so much more life. Here is the sides. I am honestly not too sure if this diesel is more of a matte finish than like the glossy one this is. I mean, it still looks like gloss. It looks like semi-gloss, if you ask me. It doesn't feel matte. It definitely still feels kind of glossy, but it feels more like a semi-gloss finish than a full gloss finish. Cause I have the both versions of the Gordon as well, and the new Gordon definitely has a complete matte finish, or some sort of semi-gloss. But yeah, this definitely looks like a semi-gloss finish and not like a full gloss, cause it still shines in the light, as you can see, but it doesn't shine as much as the original one. Here's the backs, which are pretty much the same. And then here's the other side. And yeah, that was the bare bones comparison with very minor differences of both diesels. And now we're gonna put him next to some of the 80th models to see how he scales with them. Alright, so here is the new diesel, and here is the 80th Thomas. And I'm gonna lower this so we can see a bit better. As you can see, he's sort of about the same height as Thomas here. So honestly, he doesn't scale too bad. Like going around to the back, he's definitely he's a little bit shorter than Thomas, but honestly, he doesn't scale too bad with Thomas. Thomas is definitely a little bit taller. If we look like that. But honestly, he doesn't scale too bad with 80th Thomas. He's got them little nub buffers as well. I forgot to mention that. But they are black, like they should be. Yeah, but that was Diesel next to Thomas, and he doesn't look bad next to him. Here is Diesel next to Percy. Get him centered up there. And Percy is also taller than Diesel. But these two also don't look bad next to each other. They kind of scale pretty well. Here is Diesel next to Henry. And Henry is definitely a lot bigger than Diesel. Honestly, he doesn't scale too bad either. Considering Diesel is this smaller kind of guy. He's about the same height as the Tender, just a little bit taller. But yeah, cab-wise, Henry is taller. And then we have the overscaled one, which is James, and I don't know. He looks tiny compared to James. I don't know how it was in the show, if it was like that. But yeah, James is absolutely massive compared to this guy. Yeah, but that was Diesel next to the rest of the 80th engines. And now for a bit of bonus comparison. Here's Diesel next to the Troublesome Truck and yeah. This scaling is not good. Diesel is about the same height as that truck. That is not good at all. Look at that. The truck is just, Diesel's just the tiniest bit taller than the truck, and it just looks a little weird. The engine should be like way taller than the truck. Trackmaster Push Along's scaling is so whack. But yeah, that was our extra little comparison. So, what are my final thoughts on the re-release of the Trackmaster Push Along Diesel? I'd say he's a pretty fine model for a re-release. He's definitely one of the better ones of the re-releases compared to certain others like Rosie or like pretty much all the Tender engines. But yeah, he's definitely up there with the Troublesome Truck re-release as being one of the better ones. His sort of fake side rods on the side really help the fact for this re-release. Because with him having those fake side rods, it kind of makes him kind of match with the 80Fs and how they have like side rods that stick out like a sore thumb. I just really wish they gave him they gave him an update and they actually painted these rods in so that he would match with these 80Fs just a bit more. And just give me a quick second as I'm going to do something. Alright, I am back and I have done something to Diesel. I painted his side rod silver. And look how much better that looks. Just giving it that small bit of detail. I mean, as much as I would have preferred actual rods, it doesn't look too bad next to the 80th ones, and now he kind of matches with them. Having his rods actually being picked out in silver. Because with the fact that Diesel had these fake rods on him, he actually sort of matched with the 80th engines. And technically, one good thing you could say about Diesel is that his side rods don't stick out like a sore thumb like the 80th engines do, because they're actually giant blocks of plastic that stick out on the sides. But honestly, just picking those parts out in silver brings so much more life to it. It does seem a little weird at the fact that they're just raised up and not actually on top of the wheels. I feel like with Diesel here, this technically goes for the original Trackmaster Push Along as well, because I remember the Take and Play, right? The Take and Play Diesel, when he had his little fake side rods, his little molded side rods, those actually ended up covering up the wheels. And that was because Take and Play was on like a narrower base, and then these things were just like, yeah, we're gonna make them wider, so they work with Trackmaster Track. And they just decided to make Diesel's body the same width as like all the other Trackmaster Push Along engines. I wish what they did with the Trackmaster Push Along Diesel would just make him a tiny bit wider. Because if they made him a tiny bit wider, kind of like the troublesome truck here, because with the troublesome truck, the running board actually covers up the wheels slightly. With Diesel here, his wheels just go, his running board just goes to where his wheels start. And if they made his chassis piece like the same width as like the troublesome truck here, then we could have had the rods cover up the wheels slightly. And then they could have made his body just a little bit wider to give him that more sort of look he has in the show. Because Diesel is kind of a wide character in the show. He's not like skinny like this. He's definitely this model is definitely very skinny. And then these rods would have actually been on top of the wheels here. And I feel like that would have looked so much cooler. Yeah, this is nagging on the original design. This is nothing to the new design, but this is ragging on the original model, right? But yeah, those painted rods give it so much more life, honestly. That's like the only thing this model was missing to make it sort of better. And to make it match the 80th models a bit more. But yeah, I really wish they did this. They picked them out in silver because it gives it so much more life. I said that like 5 times now. But yeah, I'd say my final thoughts on this Diesel here would be an 8 out of 10. He's honestly not a bad model for a re-release. Out of all the re-releases, these two are the best ones. So yeah, definitely pick these two up if you ever find them. Diesel, you might have to hunt for him on eBay now, although that's practically impossible. Troublesome Truck, if your Walmart is lucky to get it, hunt this one down, because I've only managed to find one still. I'm still trying to find more, and because I want to really make an army of these blue things. But yeah, that was Diesel. And now, let's go give him a run around the layout with the rest of the 80th engines and the re-releases that I have. And that was the running session of the quote-unquote 2026 Trackmaster Push Along Diesel re-release. So, this Diesel right here and the Troublesome Truck are the only two engines of the re-releases that I will be doing reviews on, as all the other engines don't really have a purpose for getting re-reviewed, as either A, I've reviewed their original, like Rosie, Nia, Gordon, or their models are just so bad that I don't really have a purpose to review them, like Gordon, Nia, and others. Yeah, this is the end of this video, and hopefully the next video will be a custom video, and I will need to find a second one of these darn diesels. I was so close to finding one at Macy's. No, not Macy's. At Kohl's the other week, as I found a KC there with Whiff and Rosie, but I couldn't find the diesel. So then I can finally properly show off a certain species of bird, a certain car, and certain upgrades to 2 customs. But anyway, thanks for watching, bye for now, and hopefully these 4 customs will be shown off next. So, a bit of a quick update, because I think it's now safe to say that the next video is going to be confirmed to be a custom video.